Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another Terraria video. We're not playing Terraria, unfortunately. If you saw my community post, you will know what happened. It's very tragic. I'm actually kind of sad, but I don't know. There's nothing I can really do besides restart. But yeah, that sucks. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, we're gonna be continuing the final Infernum video. I guess that's what this is now. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the final ranking. I'm just gonna be ranking every boss, even the ones I haven't fought. I have fought Duke, Devourer, and Yharon. Um, I'm not gonna finish that video because I feel terrible. Because there's no point. I feel so bad about making it. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I feel pretty. I don't know. I feel pretty. I'm upset. I'm upset that the world got corrupted. I don't know why that happened. If anyone knows a possibility of why that happened, please tell me. But yes, Providence. We're not going to be doing. I don't care. Okay, we're going to be doing Providence. All right. I think Providence is S tier. One of the best fights in this game. The build up towards the arena and everything is just so good. The fight itself, I died so many times. It's a great taste into post Moonlord, and the trials and tribulations that you'll have to go through. It's insanely difficult, but it's very rewarding. It unlocks the next area of the game you have to do, which is, post Providence and all those other things. Uli Boom Ore, it's very rewarding, all these things. Pretty great fight. I died a lot, as if you guys watched that video, but yeah, so it's gonna be S tier. I think it's like the same tier, like the higher version of S tier. I don't really want to make it a higher S tier because I think all the S tiers are sort of the same, but if I could, I think Providence, Astro Geldin would definitely be in that higher S tier. Ceaseless Void. Oh, it's kind of forgettable. I beat him pretty fast. Fourth try, I believe. Put him in B tier. Actually, C tier? No, I don't think it's as bad as from Arius. It wasn't a frustrating fight. It was kind of confusing because the camera, it's really you're not really used to that. Like the locked camera, like you're usually the focus of attention, not the boss. But once the second phase happened, that's whatever. One thing with this all three Sentinels though is that the background is just so chaotic. It really is. There's really no way around it though, but it's really cool. I like the aesthetic of the fight. I like the location of the fight. However, if you're using some mods that change world generation, sometimes the abyss will cut into the dungeon, and that will cause this fight. You won't be able to do the fight, which means that you'll have to skip it with Polterghast. Like, you have to. There is no other way around it, because the boss rush won't spawn, and it's impossible to kill because the arena is surrounded by the abyss blocks, which you cannot break. Alright, Stormweaver. I almost said Asher Marius, but it's Asher Duis, but Stormweaver. Alright, Stormweaver it's a pretty good introduction to the there's a car outside. Anyways, it's a pretty good introduction to like the Devourer of Gods mechanics, where it like dashes everywhere. There's so many projectiles. It's to avoid the telegraph projectiles and everything. It's a pretty good fight. It's a pretty good fight. So I think it's A tier. Yes, I do think it's A tier. It's a fun fight. It's an amazing fight. I had a lot of fun actually fighting this one. Way more fun than Ceaseless Void, I'll tell you that. I did use the strategy of using heart statues. Same with Signus, which I also think is actually. Ooh, I feel like sometimes Signus is kind of annoying. There's just some things you can't avoid it's just like a series of unfortunate. Like, it is your fault for getting hit, but I don't know. I feel like you can only blame yourself so much for dashing away, and then he goes and like go. It's like I don't know how to explain the feeling. It's like you set yourself up, but you didn't know you were setting yourself up. So like I don't know how to explain that. But it's not necessarily your fault. It's also not necessarily the game's fault. It's like shared responsibility of whose fault dying in this fight is. And I think that's one way of thinking about it. I think this fight was pretty difficult. I think it was the hardest of the three. Mainly because it's hard to see the projectiles. I just think that's such a problem with late game Infernum. It's hard to see the projectiles. Or maybe my vision is just terrible, or I'm colorblind or something, I don't know. But the vision is pretty hard, or not the vision, the projectiles are pretty hard to see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. But Signus is, I think, it's a solid A tier with Stormweaver. I think Caesar's Void and Infernum is the worst out of the 3. I think all 3 Sentinels are pretty decent fights, though. See, okay, this one, Polterghast. Okay, before we rank Polterghast, both Empress of Light, I believe twins technically. Who else? Who else has this? Empress, twins, Asher Geldon, and I think Lunatic Cultist. All 4 of these boss fights. Oh, and Caesar's Void. Caesar's Void. All these boss fights, they have a desperation phase at the end of the fight. But they're not that significant. They're not that challenging to really handle. I think Asher Geldon might be the most dangerous one. Maybe twins. I'm not sure. Actually, I wouldn't call the twins a desperation phase. I would just call it another phase. Because you still do damage. You still have to kill the boss. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a desperation phase. But Polterghast, I think, has the worst desperation phase. I am a huge advocate for no desperation phase. I'm the anti-advocate. I forgot what the word was. But I don't like them. I really don't. I think it takes away a lot of... I think it takes away... I mean, what does it take away? It takes away a lot of just, like, concentration from the fight, I guess, because now you're not worried about killing the boss. You're worried about surviving the boss. And I feel like that's just, like, a weird way of handling bosses. I feel like it's so weird. I just don't like it, because, like, imagine fighting a boss. And the thing is, Polterghast is pretty challenging, even on its own. It's pretty challenging. It's not like Lunatic Cultist, where it's, like, easy. And then again, Lunatic Cultist is just an easy fight in general. And the desperation phase was also easy. But Polterghast has a somewhat difficult fight and a pretty hard desperation phase. And it's really punishing, especially for Summoner, where you can't really do anything to avoid the projectiles besides just, you know, getting out of the way. You can teleport, sure. But it's really hard. It's just like a really stupid desperation phase that I just don't like. And when you die, you have to do the whole thing over again. I would understand it if it's like an interlude. Sure, I'd prefer that. Have something like, or like, make the initial fight easier, and then have the fight focus on desperation phase. Not entirely. I don't think an entire fight should be like a desperation phase, but I don't know. It's just, it just makes me upset. It really does. Old Duke, oh my god, I died a lot to this guy. I think I died to this guy the most of any boss on this list. Well, the ones I fought. I ended this fight with like 530 deaths. So, ooh, we weren't beating Calamity with less than 500 deaths, so I guarantee you guys that. Old Duke it's literally like a Duke Fishon. It's a very learning attack, or very learny boss. You have to learn a lot, especially when it comes to dashing. I think it's the same tier as Duke Fishon. I feel like it's a good preparation for Devourer of Gods. It's basically a mini Devourer of Gods, in a sense. I don't really want to call it that, but it basically is. The final phase, I don't know, I think Yharon does this even more annoyingly, where it like fakes you out sometimes with the dash. It's like an Elden Ring boss, where it delays its attack in such a weird way, where you think you dodged, but you still get hit, and it's frustrating. It really is. I want to put in the same tier as Duke Fishon. I don't think it's a bad fight. I just think it's like whatever. I just think it's whatever. Yeah. I would love to put Devourer of God in A or S. Actually, I would love to put in S tier, but I think I'm putting it in A tier. It's a gorgeous fight. It really is. It's a gorgeous fight. People hate on it a lot. People hate on it a lot for it being insanely difficult, and I agree that it is pretty insanely difficult. But that doesn't, just because something's difficult doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, it doesn't mean it's bad. I think it's one of the more well-crafted fights in the game. Maybe I'm just like maybe I have like a thing for difficult fights. I don't know. Clearly I don't, because I'm thinking more about difficult ones than the lower ones. But I feel like every time you die in this fight, it's just not your fault. Same with Providence. I feel like every time you die to Providence, it is your fault. It is your fault. It always is your fault. For Providence, Devourer of Gods, most of these late game bosses feel that way. I feel like this one's really well crafted. I feel like there's a lot you can do to avoid getting hit. I think obviously Asgardian Aegis or the Elysian Aegis, you basically need them for this fight, although I've seen people do without them, and that's impressive. That's so impressive. I could really never. Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I think the projectiles are hard to see. That's a given for every of these bosses, however, but you know, it is what it is. Yharon. Yharon is like a glowed up Duke Fishron, or Old Duke. It has crazy dashes. He, you know, the what's it called? I don't like the second health bar. I wish it was just like a second phase and not a second health bar. It's good, like, you know, if you're new to Calamity. I'm not sure why you're playing Infernum to begin with, but if you're new to Infernum, it's a good jump scare, but it's an annoying jump scare after a while. I don't know where to put him. I don't know. Yeah, it's been my most disliked video. Speaking of dislikes, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, or dislike, you know, I don't care if you dislike with me. Voice your opinion if you dislike it, okay? I want to hear you. Don't be scared and just leave a dislike. I want to hear you. I want to hear a reason as to why you dislike it, okay? Anyways, enough threatening you guys. Idolon Worm. I mean, you technically don't have to fight this guy. He's technically optional if you want to do boss rush, right? You don't have to fight him. Well, technically, if you want to fight these two, you have to do it, right? But based on what I know from this boss, I've actually not fought this boss with the Infernum update, like, for it. So I actually don't really want to talk about that much. I have seen a bunch of clips on it. Its music is so fire. I'm just gonna give it a shout out to whoever made the Infernum music. It's so good. It's just it's so fire. Anyways, Idolon Worm, or isn't this like Ancient Worm or whatever it's called? I'm gonna put it in B tier just to be safe. I think it's like whatever. It's like a worm boss. It has a bunch of projectiles. I like its aesthetic though. It's pretty cool. It's the guardian to the Terminus, which is the boss rush, and to summon Noxus and Nameless Deity. But whatever. Supreme Calamitas Infernum is so fun. It's so good. Do I want to put him S tier? Do I want to put her S tier? Oh, I think it's A tier. I do. I think the fight is extremely frustrating. From what I remember, I think it's extremely frustrating. I'm so mad. I can't fight her right now. I'm really upset. I don't want to restart. I really don't. But I don't know. Maybe to experience Supreme Calamitas, I'll do that on my own eventually. I'll try and catch up to there. Maybe, I don't know. I don't feel like playing Summoner again. I'll play like Range or Mage. Not Melee though. I hate Melee. Well, I don't hate Melee. I love Melee. But it is what it is. I should do a video ranking Terraria weapons. That would be interesting. Guzma, I made a mod video on you. I'll put you in a nice A tier. Actually, I'll put you in B tier. I don't even know. These are so merged together. I feel like this could just be one tier where they're all ranked off, like, you know, how I like them. But I think this is actually fair. I think it's fair split, actually. Yeah, like King Slime boss and I have Cthulhu boss. I have Cthulhu's on the same tier as the Devourer of Gods, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is fair. I think Guzma's a fair pick for this. If you want to know what I feel about Guzma, make sure to go check out that mod video. Check out the channel. Make sure. Yeah. And Draydon and the Exomex. I've actually not fought them in Infernum ever, so don't care. That's just unfortunate. I really wish I fought them. Noxus. I have not fought either of these two in Infernum. I don't think they changed in Infernum, but I will be making a mod video on both of these guys later this month, hopefully, if the stars align. So make sure you go check those out when I make those, and yeah, make sure. I don't know. I feel pretty upset that this is the final video. Pretty bummed out. I was having a lot of fun actually. I wasn't expecting that much fun. Infernum was it was a journey. It really was, and to end on such a sour note it's heart-wrenching. It really is. It's like such like a love-hate relationship. But like Infernum is like it's an abusive relationship. I don't know if that's the best analogy for it, but it really is. Like it beats the crap out of you, but you just keep coming back for some reason. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the foreseeable future Infernum on this channel. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, press subscribe, and well, till then, I'm E-Master. Peace!